All right, this evening we're going to be installing our brand new package of bees that we picked up today, and we're going to be using what's called the no-shake method. So the way that I first learned to put bees in a new bee colony into a hive was you would pop the top, take the can out, shake it really hard, get all the bees stirred up, and then hopefully they find their way back in. Rick Core later on taught me a better method of doing this called the no shake. It is significantly less traumatic for the bees and for the keeper. And basically what it entails is that we are going to pop the top off, take the feed can out and set it to the side. We're going to then take the queen out and get her lodged in between two frames. And then after that we will set the box down inside the hive. Set the box off down inside the hive and leave them in there for a couple of days, in at least 24 hours. And during that time, they will leave the box of their own volition and march off and help start setting the queen free and building their hive. And overall, it's a much less traumatic way of doing things. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing that we're going to do is pop this outer lid off. And as soon as we get that off, we're going to take the metal feed can out that's underneath it. So first thing we're going to do is lift up under there and get those staples loose. And you don't have to worry about bees escaping just yet. They're underneath the can. But we will need to move quickly once we get the can started coming up out of the hole. Let's see. Try and find a good edge to work with here. Oop. There we go, we got it started. That. If you don't have fingernails, it can be a little bit of a trying experience getting it started. All right, we got about half of it up. There we go. Now we got enough to hang on to. All right, so I'm going to lift this and immediately spin that cover back over the top as soon as I can get the can out. There we go. And you'll see that a few escaped, but nothing too crazy. Still have a lot in there. All right, we're going to set that down and out of the way. The next thing we're going to do is get this little black strap loose. This strap holds the queen, that little cage inside. I think I just had one go up my sleeve. I hope not. Oop. We're letting some out. Didn't want to do that. All right, here we go. All right, you can see a fair amount got out right there. We're just going to close them back up. Shake them off of the queen cage real quick. And we're going to pop this strap loose because we're not going to need that. We're going to wedge them between the frames so we don't need that strap. Also, it's kind of weird, they always hang the candy down when most keepers prefer to have the candy on the upside when they release the queen. That way if there's any dead attendants, they fall to the bottom and they don't block the exits. So let's get that little cork out of the way. There's some candy in here that the bees will eat. So we're going to move these guys forward just a little bit and set that queen cage down in between the frames and kind of press her in as a holding space. All right, next thing we're going to do is just set this box down inside. Just like that. And that is literally all there is to this process as far as getting the basic installation done. Now, I have closed off the front entrance down here, and I have taped over the top entrance here. And that is to keep them completely closed in for the first 24 hours. And we want to do that in order to make sure that they understand that this is their new home, this is their new queen, and they start getting comfortable with their surroundings. Tomorrow afternoon, I'll come by and I'll take the entrance cover off and the tape off and let them out to vacate and start orientating themselves to their new home. After about 4 days, the queen should be let out of her cage. We'll double check on that, and we will remove the box, replace the frames that belong in here, And from there, we'll leave them alone for a couple weeks while they get themselves sorted out. All right, here we go. Let's take the lid off and get out of their way. Now you can see a few did escape. There's probably about 50 flying around. The idea is minimal losses. It's unfortunate that some of them do get into the air, but the amount that we'll lose during this process is significantly less than what we would have lost had we shaken them out. It's just a much gentler way to release your bees. They're calmer, I'm calmer, everybody's happy. And with any luck, it's not supposed to be overly cold tonight, so they may just cluster up on the outside and hang on till morning. We'll see. But thank you for joining us this evening as we did a no-shake install on this new colony. Thank you for joining us tonight on the installation of our bee package using the no-shake method. Hopefully you learned something. If not, I don't know, tell me how you guys do it. You know, is this the method you use? Do you do it a little bit differently? I don't know. If you like what we're doing here on the farm and you learned something, hit the like button, maybe share it with a friend. Definitely hit the subscribe button and come back to see what else we got going on and follow these two colonies through their progress throughout the year. We won't get any honey out of them this year, but they should build up and be strong going into the winter. And from there, we will get a good honey draw off of them next spring. If you have any questions, leave them below and I'll get to them as quickly as I can. Have a good night.